Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today I have something that I am really excited about, and I have been putting off for way too long. So what I have in front of me is a Kriss Vector, and let's just get into this and not waste any time. Whew. Oh my. Oh my. What I have is one of the coolest looking and most easily recognizable guns on planet Earth. This is the Kriss Vector 16-inch Gen 2 CRB, and it is chambered in 9mm, and it is fantastic. Just a masterpiece of a gun. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about when I first saw this gun, why I got it, what makes it special, and then give you some advice and recommendations. But while I'm going to be talking about all that, I just have two little upgrades I'm going to throw on. One is this Holosun sight. This is the HS510C. It's just a good, pretty durable sight, a good red dot. And then this is a Magpul angled fore grip. I think it's going to look really good on this. So, the first time that I saw the Kriss Vector was when I was in high school, and that feels like a long time ago. It wasn't actually that long ago, but I remember seeing this as mostly concepts, and then there were some videos. I remember seeing like the Demolition Ranch videos and just looking at this gun and being like, what the heck is this alien gun? This, you know, it looks like it's from outer space. There's nothing else that looked like it. And then it was in video games, and it was really fun to play with, and everybody wanted to see one of these in real life, to actually get one. And man, that was the dream. So I guess I'm living the dream. This gun really just was amazing to look at, and that's the reason that we were interested in it all those years ago. But we didn't understand when we were in high school what made the Kriss Vector actually unique in terms of pistol caliber carbines. So when I say pistol caliber carbines, what I'm referring to is a rifle style or small rifle size weapon that's chambered in a rifle caliber, or in a pistol caliber, excuse me. So that would be something like 9mm or 10mm or 45 auto. Those are going to be the most common. Now, when we talk about those calibers, they automatically pulse back to where the PCC came from. It's really a descendant from the submachine gun. That would be things like the Tommy gun, the grease gun, paratrooper guns from a long time ago. And they've changed, they've been modified and modernized, and we had the MP5, which introduced amazing roller delay action. But the Kriss Vector took things to a whole different level. Now, you remember how I talked about how I first saw this when I was in high school? I'm going to give you a high school physics lesson real quick, and that will help us explain why this gun is so special. So, if you remember Newtonian physics, you can remember a couple of laws and the catchphrases that go with them, like an object in motion tends to stay in motion, or an object at rest tends to stay at rest. Or a really good one is, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now, like I said, those are just the catchphrases. There's, you know, more laws behind that, or better wording, but those laws kind of explain how a gun works and why we experience recoil. All right, a bullet in the barrel is at rest until all of a sudden that firing pin strikes it, burns up all that powder, creates an explosion, and the barrel comes shooting, or the bullet comes shooting out of the barrel. Well, that's a lot of force. And equal and opposite force is going through the gun into your shoulder, or whatever is holding the gun in place. And, well, that can kick a lot. That can actually hurt a lot. I've had my shoulder bruised many times with guns that kick really bad. So we come up with fancy solutions. We have big buffer tubes, we have extra thick butt stocks and padding and things like that, so that we can comfortably shoot these guns. Just beyond comfort, there's also a practical function of trying to lower recoil, and that is recoil throws off your shots. That can happen with two ways. One is either you're expecting the shot too much, therefore you flinch before pulling the trigger, or you simply get barrel rise when you're shooting, and it makes it hard to have accurate follow-up shots. Now, every other gun, they know this, and so all they try and do is minimize that power, that kickback that's going into your shoulder, all right? But Vector, a few years back, decided they were going to get some of the best engineers and figure out a way to change where that momentum is going. And that's what a vector means. If you think of like the guy from Despicable Me, a vector is something with magnitude and direction. And normally the vector of recoil is straight back, but the Kriss vector changes that. I'm going to link to two videos that kind of explain that. One is an X-ray kind of animation that shows the action moving inside of the Kriss vectors. You can understand it. And then the other one is just a video, someone explaining in detail how it works, how Kriss developed it. But needless to say, it's an ingenious piece of engineering to move that recoil from going horizontally to going vertically. So the experience of firing a Kriss vector does not recoil back, it doesn't kick up, but it actually recoils downward, which is really unusual if you think about it. But they did a fantastic job. Now that I'm through all that explanation, I have to give honest recommendations and reasoning why anyone should own this gun. First of all that engineering and all the complications inside of this thing have changed the reliability of it. So this platform is not going to be as reliable as a roller delayed action. So if you were in the market for a PCC for self-defense, to have a truck gun or a home defense gun chambered in a pistol caliber, you would be better off getting something like a Springfield Kuna or a SIG MPX, or if you can afford it, something from B&T. You wouldn't regret that purchase at all. But you wouldn't want to get this because it's more complicated, less reliable. I wouldn't want to trust my life to it because you never know if it's going to have a jam up or a problem. And it's very hard to fix quickly. You can't just rack and tap this thing. Now, all that being said, I still chose to buy this because it's not a self-defense gun. This is a range toy. Okay, that's why it looks awesome. That's why it's fun to shoot. It's a range toy, and it shouldn't be asked or expected to do more than to look good and to just be fun to plink with. So, all that being said, don't buy this gun unless you like the way that it looks and you're not going to bet your life on it. All right? Hopefully that's clear enough for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. If you like this video, please consider hitting that like button or even subscribing to my channel. Honestly, it helps me out a lot, and I could really use the extra motivation to keep on making videos like this. You guys are the very best. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you enjoy some B-roll.
you.